Following on from yesterday's voter fraud update, I want to go into in the next few days, just in 2-minute slots, the different types of voter fraud, election manipulation that go on. And the first and probably the biggest concern for me is postal voting. I'm not just talking about Peterborough here, I'm talking about generally the ways that this happens. Firstly, I will say that I've heard that Peterborough City Council have confirmed that they will insist on voter ID for polling stations in the next election. Well done to them. But I call on them to also ban postal voting for all but sick, infirm and distance workers. Because what happens with postal voting is, firstly, forget fraud, let's talk about manipulation. When postal votes come into a home and a whole family have been registered for postal voting, there's often much more family pressure, peer pressure to vote in a certain way. And voting should be something that should and could be completely personal, individual, based on that individual's right to vote and individual views. Secondly, postal voting can be manipulated in care homes, for disabled, for people that perhaps have mental issues. Their votes can be manipulated very easily in care homes, and there's lots of evidence of it. There also, in postal votes, people can register that don't even live in that constituency, register temporarily, get a postal vote, never really live there, but take advantage of that. Peterborough, 29% of the electorate were postal votes. That's unheard of, and that used to be more like 5 or 6% just a few years ago. It's crazy the degree to which postal voting is being manipulated and abused. I call on the people of Peterborough to take a lead nationally and demand that voter ID and postal voter reform is delivered, and delivered in time for a general election. Honest voters have nothing to be concerned about when it comes to any kind of ID or reform of postal voting. Tomorrow I'll talk about some of the other ways in which election and voter fraud can happen.